Good evening.
Well.
Well,
How
well,
are we
well.
doing?
How
I
y'all
am on
doing?
location. Okay, a mommy's job is never done, so I am on location waiting for my daughter. She's tutoring right now, and when she's done, she will be escorting me back home. My wires got crossed with my husband, so he was unable to pick her up today. So we on this we out in these COVID streets, but we're protected because I got my mask. And we up in here, hiding. So how you guys doing? How we back?
Yeah, we back
and,
another
and this
week.
is this is supposed to be our favorite month, but I celebrate Black History 365 24/7. But we'll give the white people a little day for them to, I guess honor us, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, happy Black History Month.
Yeah, it's a whole month. We're in day 2, and today's also Groundhog Day.
Oh,
And
so did the
apparently,
groundhog come out or no? Did you see his
yeah, I think
shadow?
they said it's supposed to be it's gonna be 6 more weeks of winter
Oh,
because
he
he
saw his
saw his
shadow.
shadow or something like that. I think that's how that works. We
Yes,
got a
yes.
whole
If he sees
groundhog.
his shadow, 6 more weeks. If he doesn't see his shadow, we may get some reprieve.
Yep.
But apparently, that's not gonna happen.
And it's winter. I mean, it was winter here for like about a week and a half or something like
It
that too.
was. It was. It
We
was
were,
quite uncomfortable. I can tell you that.
yeah, we were annoyed. We like, we live in Florida for a reason. What's up with all of this coldness here?
There was a
So
lot of
we're
people
not about
posted on
that.
there. Yeah, there was a lot of people posting on their Facebook telling the people from north to come in. They said that your weather lost its ways out here, wreaking havoc. Y'all need to come pick it up.
Yeah, we're not interested in the
No.
cold. Like all of us, we were running out of clothes for, it's like, yeah, we don't got that much winter gear. I don't know what else to send the kids to school in. So
We had a couple. Listen, the kids had to start borrowing my shirts and my sweatpants and my sweatsuits. The ones I used to hide my folds. But the kids were wearing it during the winter times, child. So it is what it is. So we back in these streets, reporting what we learned. But there's a few things we hashtagged for our meeting today. So I'm gonna let you kind of
go ahead and tell them what the hashtags were, and then we're gonna start talking.
All right. So first hashtag was Black History Month. So we addressed that. Although both you and I celebrate Black History 365 24/7. But we do want to honor these events that are coming out. So once we get some of a list of events, we'll make sure to tell you guys what's happening here in our neck of the woods. Our second hashtag, I believe it has something to do with the Black Supreme Court justice. We still waiting on Biden to get that together. But we had a few critics that had something to say. I feel like everything I was reading, like you had Ted Cruz, who said it was offensive that the president said that he wanted to choose.
And he was trying to go to Mexico when when Texas was freezing. So we offended by some of his actions too.
You just gonna bring that up
and then try to blame his daughters.
Blame the babies. Blaming the babies.
Then they realized they ain't had no friends because the friends like Exhibit A. Here's the text message where the wife was like, "Come on over, y'all." So okay. All right. So Ted Cruz can't say nothing. So who else trying to criticize that might have
there's a senator by the name of who is it, Ringo or Rinkin or something with an R or W, I can't remember. Who said that this nomination is for an affirmative action type deal. And my thing is,
that's what they calling it.
It's not just him. You have who else? There was somebody else who said that the person. Who was it? They said that the person needed to be qualified. My thing is, why anything that associates with Black people or
there's
Black women
that they're not qualified.
They're not qualified. Why are they not qualified? I'm confused. Qualifications don't. I mean, here's the thing, and I'm gonna just say it. Black people are exceptional, right? While we sitting here, I was gonna say a bad word. Let me take it back. While we here running around mediocrity with these white people, I'm just so confused. Isn't the former president's appointee? She didn't even sit on a bench.
I think Amy Coney Barrett, I think she was on the bench, but they put her on the bench because they anticipated putting her on the Supreme Court. So,
well, how long was she on the bench for?
I don't think it was that long, maybe a couple of years. And she's younger than a lot of she's younger than the typical justice. So,
and the women, the black women that they're looking at has a long list. A long list.
Yeah, they ready. They ready day one.
Any one of them will be perfect. Any one of them. Any one of them. There's not one flaw. So I would like for those senators to explain to me why these women are not worthy or they're not qualified.
And they can't explain that because oftentimes, even for a black woman to even get in the position, because mind you, most of the women I think most, if not all of the women who are on the short list are federal judges now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And most of them they're already on the federal bench, and you don't get to do that, and you mediocre, not as a black person, right?
Nope.
There's all different types of like studies and things have been done that it's rare that you're going to find a black person that has that type of position and they're mediocre at what it is that they do. It rarely happens. I work at an academic institution, and then we had some training, and they were talking about race, right? Because that's one of the a lot of the people who are in charge of diversity and all of these different type of things. One of the conversations they talk about is race, and they're like, it's more likely that you would have a mediocre white person with a position of authority and a huge title than a mediocre black person with that title. It's not that it doesn't happen, it rarely happens. And I seriously doubt that it's a mediocre black woman is going to be able to get on the Supreme Court, where I think there's probably already a couple of mediocre white dudes that are there. That were questionable in just in their ability, that they shouldn't have even been on the bench. Had that been somebody black, or I would even say if it was somebody Hispanic, they would not have been able to get on the bench. And I'm talking about Kavanaugh. If anybody had anything close to the allegations that he had lodged against him, they would not have made it on the bench.
Absolutely not.
And I stand by that statement.
Absolutely not. He just wouldn't.
If they had that baggage, the baggage that he had, they wouldn't have got on the bench.
Absolutely not. And I have to tell you, if any of the women that are being considered for this prestigious position, any of the black women that are being considered had a fraction of what Kavanaugh had a fraction, they wouldn't even be on the list.
Nope.
Wouldn't be on the list.
Nope.
They wouldn't even be like, we don't even consider her because she was just wouldn't even be on the list. But the GOP continues with this narrative of not being qualified. That's where I have a problem. And when you say qualified by what standards? What standards are we looking at in terms of qualifications?
And the thing that's interesting is that had all things been considered, right? And when the positions were available, they considered everybody that was eligible, like white men, white women, black men, black women, Hispanics, whatever. Had all of those people been considered in the process, then this wouldn't necessarily be a conversation, because I believe those the women that are being considered right now, pound for pound, they could probably they can stand on their record, and they can stand and compete with any one of the people that are already on the court, right? When a former president, and even Obama too, when they were making considerations, it was like it was no black women were considered. I know for sure by the former president, none were considered, right? They just had that mindset on who it is they were going to put on the bench. They didn't even look to see if somebody, a black woman was qualified, or can, like I said, record can stand against any of the men that they put on the bench. So the fact that black women weren't even in the conversation, and just because President Joe Biden is saying, listen, they have to be part of the conversation. They are part of the population. They do offer a perspective that should be on the court. There should be representation. And so he wants to be deliberate, he wants to be intentional about that. Then now all of a sudden it's a problem. And it seems as though like they're trying to make they're going to lower the standards to put black women on the bench. That's crazy.
Not only that, but to what you just mentioned is that they're part of the population. And that was one of Ted Cruz's argument, is that they make up like 6%. And the way that he just minimized,
even if they make up 6%, then it should be one of them on the court, because it ain't none now. It ain't none never.
My thing is that you're absolutely right. But my thing is that the level, the way he minimized that by saying, oh, well, they just make up 6% of the population. What is that supposed to mean? What is that? So because we make up 6%, we're insignificant and that we shouldn't even be considered? Like, you need to clarify your statement, Ted Cruz.
Mm-hmm.
You need to clarify your statement. What does that mean? It's the caucasity for me. Yeah. Like, you can't, you minimize and you say that for all the world to hear, but yet still you're the same senator that when your whole state needed you, you were in Cancun, Mexico chilling.
And they came back and blame your kids.
That's who has an opinion. But I digress, because this is Black History Month, and I'm not gonna allow ignorant people to mess up my flow this time around. So I digress. So I'm excited about the some of the women that they're talking about, that they're trying to place, that may have a a very viable chance of getting this. I mean, I feel like all the people that are being discussed are stellar. I hate that we can only pick one. But the one that is chosen, they better. And I say that with all the disdain I have right now for the Senate. They better confirm that woman just as fast as they confirmed Amy. I don't want to hear nothing about it. I don't want to hear there's no if and a buts. If you can confirm Amy in 2 months, guess what? You can confirm one of the women that they choose, whoever they choose. You can confirm them in 2 months too. I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear no back and forth.
That it can't happen. Y'all got other things to worry about and all that kind of stuff. No, this
whole country going to hell in the handbasket. Y'all need to focus on that. I don't want to hear nothing about all that extra stuff. You need to push on through like y'all push Amy. Y'all made that happen quick. So that means that you can make it happen quick. So there's no excuse at this point.
Yeah.
Just want to make that out there.
People were already voting. We were literally in the middle of an election.
Sure was.
And that's why he did when Merrick Garland was when President Obama had nominated Merrick Garland. One of the reasons why what's his name? Mitch McConnell said that you can't put somebody on the bench was because we're in the middle of an election. The next president should be the one to decide. And mind you, that was in February of 2016, and the election wasn't until November. I think RBG died like either September or October.
Yep.
People were already voting by the time they had nominated her.
Already.
The election was like in a couple of months, and they did it anyway. You know what I mean? And I'm like, how you do it when people are actually voting? So the argument that he made in 2016 was extremely disingenuous. You know what I mean? And so to try to do that now would just like, ain't nobody going for that, right? And then there's no presidential election this year. So there's really none of those lame excuses that were used in 16 are going to work this time.
Not at all. Not at all. So I don't want to hear I don't want to hear no stuttering, no back and forth. You will confirm our lady as soon as you get the nominations. I don't want to hear no if and buts about it. We're gonna go based on procedure and policy, but y'all ran Amy through, you're gonna run her through too. I don't want to hear nothing about it.
Yeah,
and then things to do.
Yeah, and even like
to be heard.
Yeah. And Susan Collins, she's the Republican senator from the state of Maine. She said something. She made a statement today that it's going to be difficult for like Republicans to not confirm whoever it is that President Biden puts forward. So we'll see.
I believe it, but we'll see. They are known for their slickness, but we'll see. The world is watching.
Yes, slick, and it's dishonest, deceptive, like all the negative.
All of that. But the world is watching, so we'll see how they handle that. I just don't want to hear no talking. I don't want to hear nothing. You did that in 2 months for Amy. You're gonna be doing it for whoever they choose. Keisha, LaQuisha. I'm just any arbitrary name.
I don't think that's any of their names though, but okay.
It's not any of their names, but I'm making the point, and you're gonna push her through in 2 months. I don't want to hear nothing about it. I don't want you get it done. Just get it done.
So J. Michelle Childs, who is one of the ladies that's being considered, she's like a whole vibe on Twitter.
She sure is.
She's a whole vibe because of her facial expression. Photo, everybody was like, put her on there because we don't know what that's about, but that's about something, and we kind of want to find out. So it'd be interesting, like if she has to go through confirmation hearings, that'll be interesting. The name that was brought forth before everyone was Ketanji Brown Jackson.
Yes.
She was like the leading person that everybody thought, and then all of a sudden, I mean, the picture of J. Michelle Childs came out, and everybody's like, I think I want to know what she about, you know. And there's another.
There was a lot of you go on and just go ahead and nominate.
Yeah, we that attitude, that energy. We need to see that on there. That's gonna work for us, right?
Absolutely.
And then also Clyburn, who's well-respected Democrat from the state of South Carolina, is supportive of her being put on the bench too. So that it's gonna be interesting to see who it is that finally gets the nomination and who ends up
well, I'm just excited that finally a Black woman is going to get the opportunity.
As the opportunity.
I'm just excited about that, and I'm going to enjoy it and relish in it, and I'm not going to allow any missteps or any delays to damper my happiness and my excitement for this, because it's needed. It's been needed for years, and I'm just excited. And any woman who is considered or who is chosen, any of them who are his children would be great for me. Any of them. And you all should really look up online and see who are in the runnings, and kind of research some of these wonderful women and learn a little bit more about them and see why.
You see that they're beyond qualified. So this whole narrative that this is an affirmative action hire or whatever it is that they're trying to say, those women are beyond qualified. All of them have been involved in one high-profile case or another, so they've made difficult decisions on the bench. So I mean, they're qualified. When the former president was putting people on the federal bench, there were folks that couldn't even tell us what the Bill of Rights were. You know what I mean? And those folks ended up getting confirmed. They were asking them first-year law school questions and they couldn't answer.
Can you repeat that one more time, co-host, please? Can you tell the people? Can you tell the people
on the federal bench right now that could not answer first-year law school questions in the confirmation hearings?
Really? Is this what we doing?
That's what they were doing. That's not what we're doing now. That's what they were doing then.
And I'm telling you, if you research some of the women that are being considered, these women, their whole, when I say beyond qualified, when we're saying beyond qualified, we mean exactly that. They are exceptional. So there's no reason at all why these women shouldn't get confirmed. None.
Whichever one they choose.
Whichever one they choose. I'm just mad we can only pick one. I'm just mad because we can only pick one. That's all.
I mean, some people argue for him to expand the court so he could put 4 of them on there. Just go ahead and take it to 13.
Listen, I think he should.
Controversial.
I think he should, but whatever. But I for now, I am just excited that we have one, and I am excited that we have such. And the wonderful thing about it too is that we have such a large. I don't want to say large, but we have a lot of wonderful judges to pick from, and I'm just excited about that. I mean, Black women out here doing their thing. You know what I'm saying? They just out here doing their thing, and they're doing it with the qualifications that surpasses all their mediocre counterparts. Sure do.
Many of them are mediocre.
Very.
All right.
Bottom of the barrel.
Black History Month started off with a bang yesterday.
It did.
Brian Flores was like, I want all the smoke.
Girl.
He's like, I'm bringing.
He didn't just want all the smoke. Did you hear what he said on Good Morning America?
No, I didn't. I don't watch. Okay, so I have to say that I'm not watching television this month.
Okay.
So no, I have not seen it. So I'm reading. I think I did see something that he. So I'm gonna read and maybe look at the video, but I'm not watching television this month. So
it's a 3-minute clip.
All right, I'll go look for it and watch it.
It's a 3-minute clip, and is Good Morning America the show that Oprah's best BFF is on?
No, she's on CBS. She's on the CBS show.
He was on a show with Oprah's BFF.
And I forgot what the CBS show is called, but no, it's not. Good Morning America is on ABC.
Okay, all right. So I'm not sure what
at least in our area
on CBS, but so he was on that show, and he basically said, "I believe they fired me because I didn't want to do things. I'm sorry. I believe that they fired me because I didn't want to do things that they were trying to get me to do that wasn't right." But you know most of the story than I do. So please explain what he meant by that.
Okay, so there's a couple of things that he said that he's put. So I was able to get a copy. I think what is supposed to be the copy of the complaint that was filed in New York. And I'm telling you, he starts off with heat. And I just want to let me just look at the. Let me just see. I just want to read the first line. Like he starts off with a text message that hold on. So he's so the first.
Wait. He has receipts. He has receipts.
He has some receipts, and there's some people that came out today, so they got additional receipts, right?
Ooh.
So when I saw the complaint, right, I was like, yo, this must be fake because I don't think this is how I don't think this is what was filed in court. So he starts off with a text that Bill Belichick, who is the present coach of the New England Patriots, accidentally sent to him. He go like, sorry, I effed this up. I double checked and misread the text. I think they are naming Brian DeBall. I'm sorry about that. And then he put in the initials BB as Bill Belichick. So Bill Belichick had texted Brian Flores and was telling him that, oh, I'm sure it looks like you're going to get the job and everything like that. And Brian Flores was like, oh, really? Okay. But mind you, Brian Flores wasn't supposed to interview for like another day or two. So he was like, well, how I already got the job and I didn't even interview yet. But there's another Brian DeBall is the person that the Giants ended up hiring. So that when Bill Belichick realized that he sent the text to the, he congratulated the wrong Brian, it was like, oops. And so that was just confirmation for Brian Flores that the Giants only wanted to interview him because there's this thing called a Rooney Rule in the NFL where if there's a coaching position available, they have to interview a black coach. They have to interview a black coach, a black head coach. So they just was going to talk to him just because, they wanted to not be in violation of the Rooney Rule and interview a black coach, even though they had no intentions of hiring him. And basically not even like, mind you, the guy has a great record. He shouldn't have gotten fired from the Dolphins anyway, that type of thing. So they were just interviewing him. They don't even care what kind of credentials or experience or whatever he was going to bring to the team. They just was doing it in order for them to be in compliance with the Rooney Rule, right? The other thing that he talked about was that he said the owner, Stephen Ross, who there's people have been, I've heard this today, that folks said there might be pressure they may force Stephen Ross to sell the Dolphins. I don't know if that's going to be for real, but there's a possibility that they're going to pressure him to sell the Dolphins. So one of the allegations that Brian Flores made was that Stephen Ross was trying to pay him to lose games, that he wanted him to tank the first season that he was working with the Dolphins. He wanted him to lose the games on purpose in order for them to be able to get a high draft pick in the next two drafts. And Brian was like, no. So when he said no, what Stephen Ross ended up doing was he gutted the team. He got rid of all the good players, traded them, sent them, all this kind of stuff to make the team trash. But even with that, Brian Flores was still able to win 5 games with a team that was absolute trash where everybody.
There go the exceptionality of black people again. There they go again. But I digress. Sorry, sis. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, so with that, and then the next 2 seasons, he has a winning season. He wins 10 games. I think his record was like maybe 9-7 one year, 10-6. He 10-6 the first year, 9-7. He missed the playoff by like 1 game this time. Mind you, ended up winning 8 games in a row after losing 7 straight. Set a whole record, and for most team to win most games after with a 7-game losing streak, all this kind of stuff, and he still ended up getting fired, right? But what he said was that they had offered to pay him $100,000 to lose games, and he was like, "Ain't nobody trying to do that." That's the second allegation. The other allegation that he made against Steve Ross was that Steve Ross tried to get him to speak to a potential quarterback, but you can't do that because you can get a tampering charge in sports if you speak to somebody and you're not supposed to, right? So when Steve Ross asked him to do it, he said no, and then Steve Ross kind of set up he set up what was supposed to look like they coincidentally ended up in the same place. When Brian said he saw this, he was like, yeah, I'm not trying to do this. I'm out. And he ended up leaving.
Setting that man up, trying to set him up.
Trying to set him up. And then, and so what I heard, someone else said this today, and I haven't been able to confirm it. There's talk that the quarterback that they were trying to get him to talk to was Tom Brady, right? So that's talk. I don't know if that's true. That's who they're saying that this quarterback is.
This is like a soap opera.
It's a soap opera. And I'm thinking, like, if it was in fact Tom Brady who showed up on that boat doing he shouldn't have, that might be why he decided to retire. Because remember, they first said he was going to retire. Then he said, no, it's day by day by me for me. And then yesterday, all of a sudden, before they dropped the complaint, all of a sudden he's like, yeah, I've decided to retire.
Yes, ma'am.
I guess he may not have wanted all of that hanging over his. So yeah, this is what we're going. So Black History Month is going to be real interesting. It started off with all kind of pepper, fire, smoke, all that.
And I have to tell you, Flores, I'm happy that he did file this lawsuit, because one of the things we spoke about when he got fired was how there's not that many head coaches, black head coaches. No,
it's only one
black
now.
Person owns an NFL. Pardon?
It's only one black head coach now out of the 32 teams, I think.
Well, yeah. So yeah, not that many. So just one. And no black people own NFL teams at all.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Nope.
And it's between 70 and 80% black players.
The labor force.
And then I think he meant
not to say that they don't get paid now, but the labor force is 70 to 80% black.
All I'm saying, representation matters. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing too is that one of the things he said was that the NFL works like a plantation. It's set up like a plantation is one of the things he said, quote unquote. But the fact that he filed the lawsuit speaks volume. And
that was brave, because he basically knew. He was like, you know what? I know I'm not getting another job. I'm good.
Yep. And the other thing that you told me, Sandra, because want to be a what do you call it? What kind of lawsuit again? When a whole bunch of people do it at the same time?
A class action lawsuit. Class action. It's class action.
Class action, not lawsuit.
Yeah, it's a class action lawsuit. Yeah.
Okay. Right. So you said that he filed it that way so anybody can jump on if they wanted to.
Other people can join who feel as that not anybody could join. Anyone that feel as though they're similarly situated like him, like they believe that they probably wasn't hired or something like that, and they feel like they were discriminated against by any of the teams in the NFL, then they can join the lawsuit. So he specifically sued the NFL, the Miami Dolphins, the New York Giants, and the Denver Broncos, because those are the teams that he had personal issues with. But he also named the other 29 teams. So if somebody that had a issue or an experience with any of the 29 teams, that they can join the lawsuit too. I have to say that also as of today, Hugh Jackson, who used to be the coach of Cleveland Browns, said he got receipts and he got proof that some owners had offered to pay them to lose games, because he said that's what the Cleveland Browns did, that they paid them to lose games in the 2016-2017 season, I believe the years were, or maybe it's 2017-2018, to lose games in order for them to be able to get a high draft pick. And he said he got receipts and proof that in fact did take place.
Well, I have to say now, is this the first lawsuit against the NFL?
No, people have sued before, because remember they sued about the concussion. People had sued because of the saying that they were getting concussions, and the NFL, the CTE stuff, right? That the NFL wasn't taking it seriously. So that's why they had to update the protocol. And so so that's not the first time. So they were sued for that. And even Brian Flores mentions that in his lawsuit too, because one of the things they did was, like, they had to, when they were determining how much money a person would be eligible for based on the law, because of that loss, the type of injury and all that type of stuff, they basically rated black players less in terms, so they got less money, saying that they weren't as smart as the white players when they were determining how much money they should get as a result of the brain damage that they may have suffered during the time they played in the league. Yeah. That's documented too.
What?
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting.
Well, shouts out to the former coach for starting Black History Month out great.
He was like,
he brought all the smoke. He was like,
amazing.
Hey, you will not be you. That's what you would not be doing to me. And he basically said on that interview that he was like, listen, if I did those things, it would have messed up my career.
Oh yeah, he was in a lose-lose situation.
That's the words he used.
He was in a lose-lose. Yep.
He said I'm in a lose-lose situation. He said I just at this point, what am I going to do? They were going to ruin my career anyway. And so I commend him for that. That's brave.
Yeah. He definitely couldn't have been like the one taking money and all that kind of stuff. Like, bro, at least, you're in a lose-lose situation because you end up losing your job, but you're on the right side of it, right? Because you're just like, listen, I'm not going to compromise. Because imagine if he had compromised his integrity, he wouldn't have been able to stand on nothing. They're like, yo, bro, you was the one taking money to lose games and you're paid to win games, right? So it's better he didn't do that, So and the other coach, the Cleveland Brown coach, who said that, yes, they were paid, they were given incentive to lose game. He said they did it and they still ended up getting fired. So
it's the foolery for me. It's the foolery for me. I just
and then he also, the last thing he did was he gave examples of coaches that had winning records that got fired. They ended up hiring people afterwards who had losing records and they still get jobs, and even when they get fired, they go get another job. But coaches who are black coaches that have had winning records that cannot get a head coach job.
That don't make no sense.
Yep.
And we in 2022. What are we doing?
Girl.
So we're gonna move on, but we
have a lot going on.
Solidarity with the former coach. I support all he doing. I know one of the people came out, I can't remember which one it was. He was like, oh, they have a whole bunch of attorneys, so good luck. Basically telling him he ain't got a chance. Okay.
He got a chance. Because even the players, and like I said, other people are saying, oh, yo, we got receipts. We got some proof for you. Would you need some evidence? We got some exhibits that you could go ahead and add to this lawsuit, right? And one of the players, I think his name is Des Bryant. He had interviewed with the Dolphins, like when he was trying to get a team. And they were asking him something about his mama being a prostitute in his interview. So he was like, this what y'all doing over here? Yeah. So the Dolphins they've done. Yeah,
that's what we doing.
That's what they was doing, and he was like, "What? My mama a prostitute? What? This is what we talking about?" Okay, even if his mama was a prostitute, what that got to do with him playing football?
That got to do with him playing football.
Yeah. So,
but we support him. I'm in full support. I ain't got to know the brother, but I'm in full support. And whatever he needs to get done, we 100% behind that. Period.
Yeah. And he I think he started something that he could finish, and some people, folks got questions, and some people gonna have to have answers, and if they don't, there will be consequences. They're gonna be consequences because I know a few people that have canceled their season. They had season tickets to different football. Like I know somebody who canceled their Dolphin tickets. I have some people who canceled tickets that they had. I already have folks who said they're not watching the Super Bowl. And I'm telling you, like, because the NFL's labor force is 70% black. Listen, if black people wanted to shut down the Super Bowl, they could shut down the Super Bowl. I'm not saying they're gonna do that, but I'm telling you, they could. Listen, that could be an impact. That's
gonna be great impact. A great
people could actually show their power. Like if they listen. So I'm telling you, they better tread lightly, because don't come out with no ridiculous energy right about now, because some junk could go down and then all of a sudden y'all could like not have no Super Bowl. Okay, absolutely. I don't know what the halftime show people are gonna do, but if the players decide like we're not doing this, what they gonna do? Who y'all finna play with? So really, tread lightly, NFL. At least until after the Super Bowl.
People. This country tends to sleep on black people on a regular basis. Now and then,
don't keep pushing people backs against the wall, because
don't do it. I'm telling you,
nowhere else to run, man. People gonna have to fight a flight.
When we galvanize, we ain't nothing to play with. So
I'm telling you, the NFL better tread lightly, because if these dudes decide that they were like, you know what, let's go ahead and I support Brian and shut the whole thing down. Listen,
don't do it.
A lot of problems.
Don't do it. All right. In other news here in Florida,
oh God,
It's the Satan for me. So in other news, you have the Florida legislator that's just out here. I don't even know how to explain what the Florida legislature is doing. But what I do know is that they're not taking care of business, is what I do know.
Okay. They're not taking care of business that's supposed to pay them.
No, absolutely not. They're not taking care of business that they're supposed to pay them. We have an inflation issue here with rising price of rentals and homes. We still have that unemployment foolishness that's still that archaic thing that we still people complain about. They're not getting their unemployment. Here we are in 2022. We still struggling with that. We have health care in this country, specifically in this state, is struggling. Like it's like on a thread. I mean, we have so much pressing issues, and we out here talking about woke legislation. I'm confused. You want to create a legislation to basically police people's feelings. That's what we're doing.
That's what they doing.
I'm what's that word I'm trying to use? I'm flabbergasted. I don't know. I don't know. You have woke legislation. You have what else you got? You got the woke legislation. You got the bill that they're trying to pass. I think it's still in committee, but I have to double check. Where now it's going to be something where you in trouble if you videotaping the police officers. That's what we're doing.
That's what they're doing.
I don't understand. Oh, Tamiko said Happy Black History Month, but she said shout out to all the gun violence survivors. It's GV Survivors Week. Oh, okay. Gun Violence Survivors Week. All right. Didn't know that. Thank you for that information. She's asking, where's the CARES Act funding? Where is it? You need to ask your governor, because he the one over here acting like he can't distribute funds, or he can't find funds, or he didn't apply for funds. That's what he doing. But not only is he neglecting that part, but he's so busy with his woke legislation. That's what he's busy with. Oh, he even said, and while we're talking about the Florida legislature, that they're working on the new maps. Two things. One, he stated that a road is a road, and he don't understand where racism comes in and disenfranchise comes in with roads. Okay, that's one. Two, he asked the Supreme Court. I don't know if it was it's the Florida Supreme Court,
probably Florida,
in reference to the District 5 congressional district, and his issue is that how he's complaining that there's 200 miles that connects, I think, Tallahassee. I think there's another Leon County and another thing to bring in, and that whole district is predominantly Black. So his issue is, before he start doing his map or making his map, whatever, he's claiming that, why you need 200 miles to connect a group of people in a district? And is that really, I think he's questioning, and I have to look it up. He's questioning the constitutionality of how that's set up or whatever the case is. So the representative for that district was like, dude, you coming in here and what you're trying to do is unconstitutional. It's against the Voting Rights Act. So we have pressing issues. We have COVID. The healthcare system is trash. Okay.
The rent's too high.
Okay. He blamed, everybody's just coming over here because we're so great. So it's not, he's blaming people, migrating over here because it's so great over here. And it's not like he don't have no control over that. What? Huh?
I mean,
Sir. I just, it's mind-boggling that you have a man who is in an election year. And by the way, these comments he's making is while he's campaigning.
But he got money though.
Not while he's, we're going to talk about that.
He got a whole bunch of money.
The governor's office looking over bills and looking over the budget or nothing. No, he's not doing that. He's doing that while he's sitting there campaigning. Now, talk about the money he got, co-host.
Apparently, he has like $69 million in his reelection. $69
million.
$69 million.
$69 million. That is the most. Literally, that is so obscene to me. So obscene. $69 million in his campaign account, and you got people in your state struggling.
Yep, that's how much money he got. And then, but we got 3 Democratic candidates running. Yeah, they don't got no $69 million.
Not even combined.
Yep, nope. They're not gonna have that money, and then they would have a better chance beating him if just one of them would run instead of 3.
I'm gonna need Nikki Fried, Charlie Crist, and Tadeo to just huddle up and have a conversation. Because this ain't going.
Apparently, the job pays $130,000. The governor of Florida makes $130,000, but he got $69 million to spend to keep that job.
Well,
am I right? Is that the lieutenant? No, I think that says the. Oh, yeah, that's what.
Well, that's weird because the congressional seat they get paid $170.
That's federal. Federal always make more money.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, it says like 100. The governor of Florida now draws a yearly salary of $130,000. That was 2019 was the last data I saw, but it's something around there. It can't be too much more than that. But you got $69 million to keep that job. It sounds like it's about the power to me.
It's beyond the power to me.
It ain't about that ain't about the money. That's about the power.
It's about the power and the influence. Let's understand the dynamics of the
good evening, Yvette. We got Mrs. DeBose here. How you doing?
Let's talk about the thing called DeSatan in Tallahassee.
Let's add something else. So Tomiko asked about, wasn't he trying to recruit New York police officers to come here? Yeah, he was trying to recruit anybody who didn't want to wear a mask for their job or who didn't want to get vaccinated. He said, come to Florida. Now, understand now, I think that it's either the first or the second leading cause of death of police officers now is COVID. I think it's the first. But it's the top 2 cause of death of police officers right now is COVID. But he wants to get more officers.
And that's the same governor basically said, y'all need to just be out here with no mask and do you. I mean,
COVID's killing officers, but you know,
it is what it is.
And then the other thing, when she talk about police officers, one of the other things he wants to do, since we're talking all things to Satan, is that he wants to create a police force that deals with elections. Like he wants to create some police force that only deal with elections. Mind you, there was no indication of election fraud in Florida, at least not in the 2020. There was some in the 2018 election that he won. But you know, talk about that.
It's the authoritarian. It's the authoritarian tyranny that he's trying to create for me. I mean, you want, and then it has to. And the thing that police force he's creating is run by him.
Yeah, and he gets to put the people on there,
and he get to oversee that.
So
how is that not conflict of interest?
That's crazy.
How's that not conflict of interest? But let's be clear.
But I mean, they basically so let's talk a little about hiring, picking who you want to hire, right? So I'm gonna do a little New York for a minute. So the mayor of New York hired his brother to be his chief of security. Mind you, it's not that the man wasn't qualified. The man had military experience, this, that, whatever. But the salary is like in the 200,000s or whatever. The people are outraged, and he was like, "But this is my brother. I know he's gonna protect me, so I should be able to hire somebody who I know is gonna protect me." Right. Like, well, and you know, so that people were just like, "You can't do that. That's nepotism." But child, I was like, y'all talking about nepotism? Half the police department is related, right? It's like their brothers, their uncles, their cousins, or their in-laws, right? But okay, I digress, right? Then they come down and they said, "Well, if you want to hire your brother, you can only pay him $1." So that's yeah.
Listen.
So I don't these yeah. I mean, half the police department's related, and now y'all worried about nepotism because the man's like, I trust my brother that if somebody try to kill me, he'll at least jump in front of the bullet for me. So all y'all big mad that I won, but yeah.
I'm just, you know, it's
crazy.
It's beyond crazy to me, and what I want to drive the point home is that DeSatan won by 30-something thousand votes. That's it.
Not a lot.
Not a lot at all.
That percentage was a automatic like hand count. I think it was. I think it triggered an automatic hand count.
Didn't win by a landslide. He did not. Okay. So if you think of it in its totality, the foolery that he pumping up there in Tallahassee, y'all need to pay attention. Y'all need to pay attention.
I'm telling you.
Miko said, she said, woke act. One thing I heard him say, he wants to stop funding for any company who hires
is diversity and inclusion per consultants on the job. Yeah, that's
that whole you see the foolery. You see the foolery
so because now we're trying to legislate feelings. Like this, is what we doing. Like we really trying to legislate feelings. Like how you about to do that? Like I don't.
Hi, first of all, and you sent me an article about someplace. What was it, Texas? That's trying to take away the biography of Michelle Obama.
Yeah, they want to take Becoming out of the library because it's gonna make white girls feel bad.
You see the narrative, right? And
what does this end?
My thing is that what he mean by, he needs to explain to me if he understand what woke mean. What he mean by woke act? What he talking about? Because he don't even have our experience to understand what we talking about when we say woke. So what does he talk? What is he talking about? What you talking about?
It's now you want
so people at work and at school have to walk on eggshells for the very people. I have to laugh, but to help from crying. You mean to tell me we struggled how many years to get to where we at, which is crumbs, by the way, Black people, and now we're back to walking on eggshells for them? Is that what we're doing? Because of the truth? Oh, okay. It's the garbage for me.
I mean, if I really want to hurt your feelings, I can hurt your feelings in other ways.
Yeah, I don't need to tiptoe around talking about the history to hurt your feelings.
Lord.
Let me tell you something. White people have a laundry list of things that we can hurt their feelings about. It don't need to be about history.
Just anybody. We can hurt that. If you're talking about hurting people's feelings, y'all please.
No, that's what it is, Tamiko. Woke legislation. He talking about woke.
Oh yeah, because she's saying what it stands for. It stands for because she said woke is an acronym, and it's like wrong to our kids and employees. That's what woke stand for. The W, like wrong to the O for our kids and employees. That's what the woke act. So it's wrong to our kids and employees to make them feel bad about the truth. Not just the facts, the truth. Yeah, that's what the woke stand for.
It's like millennial Trump all over. Is that how you say her name? Melania
Trump.
It's like her all over. The best. It's like
she picked bullying as a thing, and then her husband was the biggest bully.
You deboed it from the former first lady.
Oh yeah, she plagiarized that whole thing. Half of her
speech. Deboed, sis. Like it's not even yours. It's like you know how you hear that saying, you don't even go here. Like you don't even go here. So it's like it's one of the things that you told me to look at. You said their messaging never changes. And you're right. Like you come over here with this foolery, and then you come and you just like, oh, woke legislation. Really, dude? That's what we're doing? That's the best you could do.
I think that's the worst he could do. I don't know about the best. Ain't nothing good about that. It's just crazy. It's so crazy. Like how do you legislate that, man? Like
don't legislate that.
How do you even think that is a thing? But to me, it's all distractions. They want to keep people arguing and talking about woke legislation. In the meantime, they're out here, allowing fracking and drilling and messing up the environment and the things people really should be talking about. We're not talking about them because they dealing with this nonsense, right? This CRT and all of this stuff.
CRT is not nonsense. The fact that
it's not nonsense. The fact that they're trying to make it
look like that's a thing. The fact that they're trying to make it look like that's a thing when it's not a thing. Like it's not a thing. It's not. It's the level of distraction that infuriates me. Because we have pressing issues, but they rather distract, keep you all dumbed down and docile so that they can run the country, to run the state how they want to run it. And that goes up for the ones up top too. They want to run the country how they want to run it, and think you and have us sitting here arguing about how they doing us wrong. We have a power. We have a power that we don't use like we're supposed to use. He ain't supposed to keep his job. He should be gone in November.
He needs to lose his job. He needs to lose his job.
He's not working for us.
He's not doing a good job.
He's not working.
Yeah, he's not doing a good job.
He's not working for us.
No.
He's not working for us.
I mean, he's done a couple of things. So what we don't want to get tricked with, right, is that so because his messaging is very targeted.
Yes.
And so he has done some halfway decent things in South Florida, because he's put some Black women on the bench in Dade County, Broward, Palm Beach. So he's done some stuff. But please don't think that's enough, right? Like, and don't get tricked by the fact that he actually did that to think that, oh, he's doing a good job. You know, he appointed that brother to the Broward County Commission. You know what I mean? So he's done some things that, you know, that he'd be like, well, look what I did. Like, don't call me a racist. Don't act like I'm not down for the people of cause and all of this kind of stuff. I did this because he did. He put a lot of really great Black women on the bench in Dade County. And I don't want people to think that that's sufficient enough for him to keep his job as the governor of the state. But because you know, he did a lot. He does way more crazy than he does good. But he has done some things that, you know, people might be like, no, but I'm on the bench because of him. Like, you know, how do you how can I say something bad about him? You know,
and just know that when he does one thing, believe it that he's doing one thing to do something else. It's not
50 other something else's.
I'm just saying he gives you a little bit to keep you satisfied, and does several other things to really kind of not necessarily negate what was done, because those people are placed in their place.
And they're doing good work. They're doing good work. Like,
but don't get comfortable with just that, because that ain't it.
That ain't it.
That ain't it.
Because unless you go into criminal court, like, I mean, what they doing ain't gonna bother, don't matter to you no way. You know what I'm saying? Like, unless you got to appear in front of them, you be like, okay, I'm glad she a judge, but you know how that's changing my day to day.
I'm just saying,
all that. I need you to do that, brother.
I'm just saying it's really important that you don't just take the good little things and I'm not gonna call them little, because putting people on the benches is important.
Yeah, the representation matters. We agree.
Yeah, representation matters. Don't put the one thing and ignore all the other crap that's going on. That's all. So Tamiko wrote, read this book, Devil in the Grave, about how Thurgood Marshall defended a significant case in Florida, highlights the history of racism right here in our state. So you know what's bothering me about how this legislation is running?
It's Devil in the Grove.
Oh, Devil in the Grove. I'm sorry. Grave. I said grave? Yes.
Yeah.
I apologize. Devil in the Grove. What irritates me about this is that they're pulling books off shelves. They are, you know, now, you know, if the bill passes, if the legislation that they're working on with this, you know, so-called CRT passes, now teachers have to watch what they say around kids. Employees got to be careful how they deal with their employers, have to be careful how they deal with their employees. You know, Sandra works in a higher education institution. She got to watch what she say, how she says it, when she says it. I mean, you know, anything could be, and now you're up for litigation, you're up for filing a complaint. I mean, it's become this place. So what's the purpose then? What's the purpose of history? We're only supposed to do selective history, not all of history. And then one of the questions Representative Dottie Joseph asked when they had that legislation in committee was like, okay, well, what is the teacher supposed to do then if there's something that has to be, or if we're talking about the Holocaust or slavery? And the response of the person who brought the bill, I forgot his name, and I gotta make sure we blast these people, is that, well, you know, you just gotta err on the side of caution. But what is the side of caution?
Not talking about it at all.
Follow the curriculum, but then the curriculum does have parts of it that does talk about the history. So, like, at what part? What are we supposed to omit it now? Like, what are we supposed to do? You just need to, and according to Representative Dottie Joseph, he couldn't answer the question.
There's no answer to that question.
So why do we have a bill then? I'm confused.
It's a distraction. And the thing is, like, so we saw them pass bills last year, and then they decided not to enforce the law, right? So they passed that protest bill last year.
Sure did.
People were shutting down 836 in Dade County, and nobody got arrested. So, you know,
it was a Cuban riot.
No, they didn't call it riot. It was a protest. We do have First Amendment rights in the United States, so they were exercising their First Amendment rights. But
apparently, when you're Cuban,
in their efforts to exercise their First Amendment rights,
that is a riot.
In their efforts to exercise their First Amendment rights, it did violate some of the protest bill that the governor passed.
I'm just saying, when Cubans do it, is a protest. When Black people do it, is a riot. I want to make this.
I mean, I'm not gonna get into all of that. I'm just saying that they've been passing legislation that they're not enforcing. So maybe they'll do this woke legislation and there will be no enforcement with that either. So I don't know. Because they don't think things through. Like, it just, it's like if they think it through, they'd be like, oh, this could kind of work against us. And we saw examples of it.
They don't think it through. They don't.
No, they don't think it through. Like, I mean, they just passed the protest bill and people violated it like within weeks, and then they're like, we ain't gonna do nothing about it. Then what you got? Well, why is it the law?
The Nazis in Orange County and the governor didn't want to denounce that. He didn't say nothing.
They were exercising their First Amendment right to, I guess, protest and free speech too. I don't know.
They didn't even have they don't even go here. They didn't even have a permit to do it. They were just out there messing up traffic. Mimi stated, Virginia governor has a tip line so parents can report teachers that teach subjects that they feel make their children uncomfortable.
That sounds like fun.
Tamiko says key steps in dismantling racism: 1, lament,
yeah.
Acknowledge pain. 2, telling the truth. No truth equal no dismantling. Listen,
they don't want to dismantle it because it benefits them. Like, well, I mean, how you go?
There's one thing that we had a conversation about. We're not going to bring it up here on this because it is a touchy subject. But one of the things that Sandra and I discussed was the main focus is that race is a social construct, right?
Race isn't real. It's not real. That's not real.
So my thing is, I had posted on my Facebook that, until you all understand what social construct mean, there were people that were sending me messages and trying to get me to, I'm not gonna have this conversation with you until you understand what that means. Don't come to me. Like, don't come to me with that. Like, I just, it's a social construct. You need to understand what that means.
There's no such thing. Geneticists don't recognize race. They don't. It's all made up.
I'm just saying. However, because it's a social construct, and in this country, it's been accepted that way, right? And that's how this country operates within that realm of this social construct, and it's widely accepted throughout all 50 states. Okay, is it 50 states? 51? 50 states? 50. We want Washington to be 51. So I'm just putting that out in the impact. So because it's widely accepted, we heavily are on on that, and then we approach and we deal with things within that construct, right? My thing is that you create something, and then now you want to say that that's not what it is, and you don't want people to understand how it was, what the foundation is of that creation. So basically, we're just gonna make you stop talking about it. Okay. All right. Well, good luck with that. Good luck with that. So the question becomes, are these bills up for, can these bills be, can we attack them legally is the question.
Most of them will end up in litigation. Okay. Most of them will end up in litigation, because, they have the majority, so they'll probably be able to pass them. And in a minute, somebody tries to enforce one or whatever, it'll be litigated. One of the things that a lot of people don't understand about, like, the things that the former president 45 was doing, about 90% of the things that he talked about and he did are all litigated. They were all litigated. Like, they literally were in court. And then, like, once he was going, like, in the new DOJ, like Merrick Garland took over, they're like, all right, we're going to dismiss this case. We're going to dismiss that case. We're going to change that regulation. We're not going to enforce that. Almost all of the stuff that he would come out and say publicly, we'd be like, what is this man talking about? Most of it he couldn't even do. He just did it and was like, go fight about it in court. That's why people were, like, leaving the Department of Justice in droves. There were attorneys quitting, like, every day. They were like, yo, I can't work like this. This is stupid. You know what I mean? So that's the thing. So that, you know, they talk it, said in the public. Then when it's time to actually get somebody to draft it and put their name on it, they be like, I'm not following that foolishness. That's like pure nonsense. And then if somebody is crazy enough to file it in, you know, it becomes law or whatever, it's going to be litigated because it's just kind of crazy, you know?
I mean, it's one thing. I hate relying on the fact that it's gonna, you know, it will go into litigation because
it's a waste of time. It's a waste of resources. All of that. It's just
not deal with it at all. Yeah. However, that's the only thing we have to clinch on, right? Because it's a Republican.
Unless, you know, you put more Democrats in office in November of 2020. But I want to start saying August because it's a lot of times it's who comes out of the primary anyway. So you want to, you know, try to get more Democrats to get a good position in the primaries and then hopefully get them elected in November.
What's that seat that young, not young, what's that seat of the lady named, I think Murphy?
Stephanie Murphy. I don't remember her seat number, but so her congressional seat, she's not running for her congressional seat again. And then I think that's one where you say it's like 4 Republicans that's running.
4 Republicans are running for that seat. 1 Democrat has announced but has not filed. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find that seat.
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now. So she kind of saw the writing on the wall. That's why she didn't want to, because she kind of got lucky because there was a wave of women running and winning in 2018 when she did win. So she was like, no, because again, the Republicans have a lot of money. It's the 7th congressional district.
Okay, this is in Florida. This is in the state of Florida.
It's the 7th congressional.
The 7th congressional districts has 4 Republicans running.
Actually, she won in 16.
Okay, she did. Yeah. All right, so there's 4 Republicans running, and let me tell you, the top 2 who are bringing money in the top 2. There's one who is by trade. His name is Cody. Is his name or Bird? No, Cord Bird. That gentleman, by his trade, is to teach or is to train police officers in combat. Okay, and his second thing is that he is the head of something ministry. Is it intervention? Yes, intervention ministry. Just gotta know. Okay, so my question to this Mr. Bird, I think his name is number 1, do you believe in police reform? Do you also believe in the de-escalation? Do you also believe in that police are supposed to serve and protect the community and live in the community that they serve and protect? So that's my questions. Since you train on combat. The second thing is, what is intervention ministry? That's what I'd like to know. What that mean? Because when I went on the website to look it up, it had no information, but you had a button for donations though, but you had no information about what the ministry does, who they help. You know, there was nothing there. So I'd like to know who that is. If somebody can get this video to Mr. Bird, I think his name is spelled CORDBYRD or BYD. I'm not sure. But he's raised the most money in that district and for running in that district in that campaign. I need answers. That's all. So she won. But it is typically a Republican district, but she managed to win. But now I'm disappointed that she didn't want to continue to run for her seat. But here's the thing: Democrats, y'all need to start giving these candidates some money. Is what the Democratic Party should start doing. Yeah. The Republican Party give their candidates money. Okay.
Yeah. Jamie said he's doing well.
Who?
Jamie Harris, the DNC chair. He said he's doing well, raising money.
Oh, is he? Well, I mean, so where's the trickle down effect? Because these candidates need some money. They need some money. They need some money, and they need some real support. Jamie, what we doing? I'm just asking. I mean, what we doing? What we doing? We helping our candidates, or we not helping our candidates? And what's up with the messaging? Are we making sure our messaging is tight, just like theirs? Making sure that people know that we there for them. What we doing? A registered voter, inquiring minds would like to know.
Yep.
Oh, what are we doing?
What we gonna do?
Because Democratic candidates need to feel the support of the Democratic Party.
Yeah, because most of those House seats, them people they run every 2 years.
Listen, we can't afford to lose the Senate or the House.
That's gonna be a whole problem.
You cannot get anything done. You
not a thing.
Take that to the bank, guarantee, sign and deliver.
Gonna happen.
Nothing done. Nothing.
They can't get nothing done with all these Republicans.
And these Republicans, this is a new breed of Republicans out here, and they are hateful. Hateful people. Just hateful. If you look at the 19 states with the voter suppression legislation, with protest legislation, it's like an attack on anything other than the majority. Hateful. So y'all, if y'all watching and y'all be listening to us every week, y'all got to come on and be at these polls and be visible and follow the rules. If you can't, if you're gonna bring somebody else's thing, make sure it's somebody from your house, their ballot, make sure it's one person from the house, or you get a caravan and drive everybody go together. But we got to come out and vote, period. These people cannot keep their jobs. Look at they're doing legislation to basically, stop to change how I think the people wanted to put in an amendment where they're stopping. You know how we come up with things and we sign petitions and we try to get amendments and all that other stuff. The legislator of Florida is trying to stop that. They're trying to stop the people's voices. Yes, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to stop that. For next week, I'm going to bring those bills, the names of the bills, and the people who are co-sponsoring them and sponsoring them, so we can have a conversation. But listen to what they're trying to do, so that and the response to the person who is sponsoring the bill says, well, that's why people have elections. They can vote. If they don't like what we're doing, they can vote us out. That was his answer. Yeah,
that's true though, and that's what people need to do. Vote them out.
If he's saying that and he knows that's what it is, then vote him out.
Vote him out.
It was on a post, and I'm going to share the post with you, Sandra. In the comments, the person was like, they gerrymander so badly that they know that they're guaranteed a re-election. So he can say that if he wants to.
Unless people fight the districts, there's some states where the courts are like, yeah, y'all can't do this. I think it was in North Carolina, Ohio. There's precedent where the courts were like, no, this is crazy. Yep. It's clear what you guys are doing. Right. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
but it's gonna take that community to make big noise and say this is not what's gonna happen here. But what I'm saying is that the power is with the people, not the people in power. Mm-hmm. Please, if you got to turn that into a mantra, please do that, because the power is not with them. The power is with us. They don't get to keep their job if they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing for us. You can't get elected to a seat and go do what you want. That's not how that works.
At least that's not how it should work. That's not how it should work.
All I'm saying, we hold the power in our hands, right? We
should, but we're not acting as if we do. It seems as though it's the folks that's donating big money to these campaigns. Because there were two other articles that I had sent you, one about Manchin and one about Sinema. Where they're getting a whole bunch of money they're getting a bunch of GOP money because they tanked Build Back Better and all a lot of Biden's agenda. So now they're like, we don't even need no money from Democrats. They're getting money from GOP.
I blame Biden.
Max donations, right? Money given to
I blame Biden, because when the Republicans are in power, you don't see nobody breaking rank. They don't break rank.
I like that.
Egregious. If it's egregious, then be like, I'm just gonna be. I'm gonna abstain. I'm just gonna abstain. I'm not gonna say nothing. But in customarily, they don't break rank. And you guys, Manchin and Sinema acting like a bunch of donkeys in the Senate. Like, I don't understand. I don't get it. Like, how do you
taking GOP money? The minute they start doing that,
opposition of your party. How do you be in direct opposition of your party? And that's one thing. The second thing is, you know how many people you affecting in the process? Like, do you even care that you've affected a whole bunch of people?
The people that voted you in office.
Man, okay. This is Black History Month. Let me not get myself all riled up. Let me bask in the fact that we're going to have a Black woman Supreme Court justice. Let me bask in the fact that we're going to have a Black woman Supreme Court justice. Because I'm telling you, the stuff that Manchin and Sinema's getting away with, I'm telling you, if that was Bush would have been like, what was the one of the things you said Bush be?
Bush don't play. He was like, come to the table. I got a folder for you. I'm not saying that's what he did, but I think that's what he did. He's like, listen, ain't nobody finna let you do all this nonsense. No, that ain't no, come talk to me.
Bush's whole vice president shot somebody in the face.
In the face. And then he was like, why y'all talking about old stuff? Like, don't talk about this. Shoot.
Okay.
He's like, it's an accident and I'm done. I ain't got nothing else.
Ran that administration like a tip-top shape, honey. Listen, you couldn't break rank.
And they couldn't talk about him. The way they talked about Obama, I was like, oh, y'all can talk now. Y'all was silent for like 8 years. They say nothing.
They
couldn't even talk about the man. You know, he out here wilding, you know, doing all kinds of stuff, and ain't nobody got nothing to say. Remember, he tanked Dan Rather's career.
He did.
Remember, Dan Rather lost his job at CBS because he filed some report on Bush that probably was true, but then they tried to say it might not have been true. But you know, I don't know. And Dan Rather had a 50, 60 year career at that point. I'm like, I don't think that man would have made that kind of mistake and put out information that wasn't accurate or something like that.
And now he's become a Twitter sensation.
No, but he's awesome. You know, he good stuff.
He's a great man. He's a great man.
Yeah, he lost his.
But then he became on Twitter. He'd be on fire on Twitter. Dan Rather. But you're right. He did tank his career. Bush wasn't playing with nobody. His father wasn't playing. They weren't playing with nobody.
Nope. I mean, Dan Rather's career went down the drain trying to tell some what may have been the truth about Bush, but they're trying to say it wasn't true that with the sources.
You go ahead and go break rank under the Bush regime and see what happened to you. Okay. I need Biden's energy, just like how he was a few days ago on that, and they caught him on camera and
on the hot mic.
I want that one. I want that Biden. I want that Biden to come out and pull Sinema and Manchin into an office and say, so these I let you go with these shenanigans for now, but
it ends
today. Y'all need to fall in line, or guess what?
And if you want to just be Republican, say it. But stop out here masquerading as a Democrat.
Don't about your business if you're gonna do
masquerading as a Democrat.
Yeah, please. Y'all need to stop it. Sitting there walking around and whatever. This is the most. She is the most. I don't know who her stylist is, but somebody need to call 911 because
we won't make no personal attack about women. We don't shame like females.
No. I believe that there's a certain decorum that you must present.
We're not gonna shame people on their looks and stuff.
She's pretty in the face, but her outfits, whoever's dressing her,
we're not gonna shame the people on how they dress.
Needs to look more professional. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. They talk about Black women all day, every day. I'm gonna say the same thing. So it is what it is. I'm done.
Okay.
I'm done. So listen, to wrap up, Nikki Fried, Charlie Chris, and Miss Tadeo. Y'all gonna need to
have a conversation. Yeah. So people can just send checks to one of y'all.
Yeah. Yep.
And man got $69 million.
Y'all gotta
get it together.
There has to be some strategy.
Do it for the people of the state.
There needs to be some
strategy. Think about yourself. Think about the people of the state, please.
Let's be strategic.
Get together. Maybe y'all gotta I don't know. There's a 3-sided coin, flip a coin or something. I don't even think Tadeo should be an option. So she need to just go ahead and step back. So Charlie Chris and Nikki Fried have a talk, flip a coin, see who's going, and then just support the other.
And y'all could be on the same ticket. Y'all could be on the same ticket, make a decision.
Work it out, figure it out, but don't just.
I personally feel like we need somebody
together.
I think we need somebody aggressive, and that's what we need. No more lip service. Y'all need to huddle up. Jamie need to be put in a call to the three of you and have a sit down.
Well, pick one, y'all. Listen, what y'all doing? Just get together.
Pick one. Come on, make this work for us.
Yeah. That's what Chris and Meek. Yeah, Chris and Meek split the vote. Yep, they sure did.
Sure did.
And it was Chris who did it because he ended up running as a independent. When he lost the Democratic nominee, he went in and ran as an independent, which is, Chris messed that up.
Mm-hmm. And that's what and that's why I feel like that Charlie Chris, like, dude, you done had your chance. Like,
you done did all this.
You done did all. Let's
moved all over the state. I mean, come on, man.
Let the new breed of people come in. Let them do something. Let them do something. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just can't come in and think that you're supposed to do it. Like, let them do something. Jeez, let it be two women ticket or something. Like, I'm just saying, man. Like, yeah, but at the end of the day, y'all need to huddle up and have a conversation.
They need to go. They need to talk.
This is too much. We can't split our money 3 ways. I'm sorry. Y'all gonna have to make that happen.
I mean, got $69 million and counting.
That should be that should be an indication on why y'all should be having this huddle. Talk about it.
Figure it out.
You are all invited to come on our show anytime you want to talk about it. But if you do come,
I think Plantation Dems is bringing Charlie Chris. Is it Val Demings?
Yes, it's Val Demings. Mm-hmm.
No, but Charlie Chris is coming too. Maybe it's the senior caucus or somebody's bringing Charlie Chris is coming too. And he said he'd come in person depending on how many people would be willing to come.
It might be the same one with Val Demings because it's not just a plantation. There is a whole bunch of them that came together.
Okay,
like Kings Point is on there. There's a couple of them that like about 6 or 7 of them that have come together. So maybe his coming. Is it February 9th? Because I thought that's why I saw February 9th.
Maybe that's the date. I'm not 100% sure of the date.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, Charlie, if you hear this, Mr. Chris, Miss Freed, and Mrs. Tadeo, y'all need to huddle up and have a conversation. We're not the only ones that feel that way. Just so you know. Mm-hmm. Y'all need to get that together. That's all we asking because this man has.
He's already been the governor.
And that's what I'm saying. Why are you doing that? Like, just
but he was a Republican governor. When he was governor, he was a Republican.
Let the ladies have it, sir.
Now he wants to be a Democratic governor.
Or if you want to go be in what you call as primary.
Yeah, go primary. DeSantis. Go back to being a Republican because you done it all already. You was a Republican before 2010. You was an independent for 2 years. Now you're a Democrat. Go back to being a Republican and running in primary DeSantis if you can. Instead of here bothering Democrats.
We over here confused. You need to pick a side. Which way you going? You over here, you over there, you in the middle, which way?
If you become the nominee, Chris, I'm gonna vote for you and all that, but for real, go primary DeSantis.
Yeah.
Do that.
Go do that. Take some of his votes.
Switch your party and go do that. That sounds like a better idea for me.
Oh, I don't think he could switch his party anymore. Didn't they pass a rule that you couldn't flip flop?
Oh, did they?
One of the reasons was because of him.
Well, I need him to go back to that Republican energy and go primary DeSantis.
I'm saying
instead of here bothering Democrats.
Mm-hmm. We barely trying to get where we trying to get. Hot ass mess. Oh, I'm sorry. So listen, hot mess. So we are still following the Florida's legislator. We'll get back to you with information, any pertinent information. I will come back with those bills, their names and their sponsors. That way we can talk about them. Next week we were supposed to have a guest, but I don't think we're going to have a guest next week.
Because we're working something out that we want to do before the guest comes on.
However, we have put out.
But we still may have a guest because remember there are 2 other people we reached out to. Maybe they'll come and speak to us next week.
Yeah, we're working on those, and we're working on some speaking to some elected officials. I think that would be good so people can understand what how it is and how local elections and local government works. And we're still in these COVID streets now. There is an Omicron too.
Was BA2 or something like that, or B2A or something.
And it's in Florida already. And apparently it's been in Florida since January, according to the reports. So I just want people to be safe, y'all. Just be safe. If you haven't vaccinated, I would strongly, urge you to vaccinate yourselves. Social distance. Make sure you help the kids to social distance and be safe. We're still in these pandemic streets, and we're still in a pandemic. And until that changes, I think we need to behave as such. There's a lot of you out here not doing just right.
So Daryl Campbell got sworn in.
He sure yesterday or day before yesterday?
One of those days. It might have been day before yesterday or something like that, but he finally got sworn in. So he's officially the rep for District 94. Mm-hmm. There were some issues with his, whether or not they could swear him in or did they have to wait until March 8th and all of that kind of stuff. So there was some issue about certifying the election, but that all worked out. And so he got sworn in, and let's see what he's going to be able to do.
Well, we're excited for the young man to be on there. He has
the Senate District 33 race is March 8th.
March 8th. Mm-hmm.
That's still happening.
That's still happening. And so go support that you have two candidates. You have Dr. Rosin Osgood as the Democratic candidate.
Go to her page and donate your time, donate your money.
Donate, do what you need to do, but be safe in your volunteering. And then you also have Joseph Carter, who is the candidate who we also interviewed. If you would like to see his interview, remember to like, share, and subscribe on YouTube. And do you have any final thoughts, co-host?
Daryl, I need you to find out what happened to the lotto money. Because apparently there's some schools in Broward that they can't rebuild because they ain't got no money. But if y'all can find that lotto money, maybe they'll have money to put the schools back in the community.
Well, I just found out that the school board has an employee that was fired by the Education Commission for stealing $90,000 worth of computer. Well, not stealing. He bought computer. He used the money because he was working in the Treasury Department. He bought computers. He gave his colleagues, his work people, gift cards and all that other stuff. So while he was under investigation, he decided to go ahead and resign and start working for the Broward County School Board.
What?
Yeah. True story. Ain't lying.
I don't understand. He resigned from where and went to where?
He was working for the
Broward County, the public school system, and then he went to work for the school board as what?
So I'm gonna tell you. So his name is, I had to look it up because they didn't want to give his name. So his name is Scott Keeler. Okay. And he's a current Broward County Public School employee. He misused more than $90,000 in taxpayer money to purchase computer equipment and gift cards for himself and colleagues while helping run a computer training project for the Department of Education of Florida. Oh, I'm sorry. His name is not Scott Keeler. Scott Keeler is the person who wrote the article. Justin Feller. Name sounds very familiar. But Justin Feller resigned from his state government post last August while the department's investigation was ongoing and joined his he used to work there, Broward County Public Schools, where he currently works as a teaching facilitator of computer science.
Oh, so he had a job in the state for in Tallahassee somewhere, wherever the Department of Education is.
Right.
And while he was under investigation, he came and got his job back in Broward County Public School because he probably knew somebody that just went ahead and did his paperwork, and they let him come back to work, even though he was under investigation. Okay. That sounds like mediocre people, that sounds like privilege, and that sounds like a whole bunch of stuff.
Sure does. The Department of Education has referred the matter to the Florida Commission on Ethics for possible sanctions. The department.
Why is that not a criminal case?
Pardon?
Why is that not a criminal case?
That's a good question. Why is that?
Why hasn't it been referred to the state attorney's office?
I'm taken aback. The department informed Broward schools of the report and its findings in the first week of January, a month after the report was published. Any school board members watching this, I'd like to understand how that happened under your watch. What's going on here? Feller has repeatedly refused to cooperate with the investigation, according to the Inspector General's report, which found he was insubordinate when he disobeyed a directive to cooperate while still with the department. He did not respond to the Herald when they requested for comment.
Okay.
I'm just saying. Now they named the people he gave out Visa cards to. They put their name in here.
Well, they should be sending his name to the state attorney's office. I suspect. I mean, because it sounds like a crime. If you steal $90,000 from your job, that's like some form of embezzlement. That can't just be an ethical.
Well, I mean, yeah,
it's a criminal issue too.
Well, it says the investigation started last July. Officials raised concerns that Feller appeared to be buying excessive computer equipment without management's approval or knowledge, using funds that were part of a $10 million grant approved by the legislator. Okay. Investigators found the Feller's colleagues, they named the colleagues, girl, Kenneth Edwards, Daniel Ring, and Katrina Figgett, acted inappropriately by accepting Visa cards totaling $500.
They might not have known that he got it from the stolen, like he was stealing them. They thought he was just probably being generous.
Wait a minute, hold on, because they said they took the Visa cards $500 on their behalf and by signing a non-disclosure agreement with Lego so they can get an early look at educational toys that weren't on the market yet. Feller ordered 7 Visa cards for himself, total of $1,000. Isn't that theft? I thought that was theft.
That's embezzlement. That's a whole okay.
I mean, you know the law better than I do, sis. It says, as a result, the conclusion and recommendation of this investigation, appropriate measures were taken immediately, and these employees are no longer employed by the FDOE. Department spokesperson Jared Ocha said, okay, but were they charged? I'm just saying. I'm gonna send you the article. So y'all over here just hiring embezzle. What's the word you look for?
I mean, it sounds like embezzlement to me.
This sounds
like the money to do something for the benefit of the school, and he did it for his own purposes. So,
how you gonna leave from one job and come to another? And
he called his friend and got that job because I've applied for a whole bunch of jobs. I can't seem to get them because I guess I don't know nobody in those places.
I mean, goodness. What are we doing, school board?
I want his friends like, I need some work.
Where are all the people who running for office for school board and talking about transparency and all that other stuff or whatever? How come ain't nobody say y'all known since January? Y'all ain't come and make a press conference and say, hold up, wait a minute, he's been effectively put on leave, or what y'all doing? No. And y'all come out on the news.
Not a thing.
Well, okay. I'm just saying.
All right.
All right. Well, we'll see you all next week.
Then
we'll probably have some extra stuff or whatever. Last week we told you about the book, Stacey Abrams' book. And
Tamiko gave us a good recommendation.
Oh, she did give us,
Devil in the Grove.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do Tamiko's book this time. Devil in the Grove. So, Tamiko, if you can drop the author's name in the comments, that would be great. That way, people can go ahead and look for it, through the name and or the author's name. And that will be it. Gilbert King. All right. So I'm gonna retype it here with the name of the author. And
all right, you can type it. Okay.
Yeah, and it's called, what is it called? The
Devil in the Grove.
Devil in Grove. So we will have this as our book of the week. Thank you, Tamiko. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
Oh, she said the author will be presenting on Zoom in February 16th. I'll send info.
Okay.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, we need that. We need that link then.
Yeah, we need that. We need that in our lives. Yes. So that will be the book of the week. The Black excellence for this week is the women who are being considered for Supreme Court justice. All of the women are beautiful and stellar in their own right, and I'm mad that we can only pick one. But this should bring you all some much needed happiness and love and appreciation, because we out here doing the doggone thing. Okay.
Well, I just used my Audible credit, Tamiko, to get Devil in the Grove.
Okay.
And the Audible is 17 hours. Okay, so all right, Tamiko, and your 580-page book recommendation.
Ooh, Tamiko, you killing us, girl.
I've been listening to so I just went to Audible. I'm like, wait, 17 hours. So how long this gonna take? But I'm gonna go ahead and listen to the book while I do all different kind of things. I don't know if I'll be able to report back next week. That might take a couple of weeks for me to get through. But I guess since I ain't watching TV these here days, I mean, Devil in the Grove it is.
Mimi said Audible is the way.
I'm telling you.
I need to probably hop on that Audible.
I'm telling you, when I'm in the car, like when I'm dead time, like sitting around waiting, you know, I'm listening to a book. So
yeah. I need to do that Audible in my thing or whatever. I don't know. I feel like I have to hold the book, but I think the Audible is the way. I might have to do that. You take notes when you're reading like something that sticks out on you. You take notes and write it down and stuff.
Yeah. Sometimes I do that, but you know that allows you. Yeah, so I do that, and you can like what's the word? You can put the notes in with it because I have Kindle. I have all those things, so you can do it like.
Nice.
So but Audible, I just listen to it usually while I'm driving or something like that. And if it's something, I kind of like mark it. You know, now you can screenshot everything and just kind of mark it, and then if I want to hear it and play it back again, I can. So Tamiko says they're on chapter 6. Okay.
Okay,
right. I just used my edible. I had a bunch of Audible credits, so I just got one and got the Devil in the Grove.
I'll tell her about a book we're reading, or we'll have the same book or whatever. She's like, yeah, I finished that. I said, how you finish it so quick? It's so many pages. She's like, girl, I listened to it.
I listen to the book. I be sitting in traffic sometimes for like 45 minutes, you know, an hour. It adds up. So I listen to it in the car.
All right. You said the Christchurch Anti-Racism Task Force is hosting the author. Okay.
All right. Yeah, we're gonna need that Zoom link or what page we can go to register in case you need to register for it, and we'll go ahead and do that.
Yep, absolutely. We're excited. Okay. All right, everybody. We're going until next week, God willing. We'll be back on here getting ourselves together. So we'll holler back at y'all. And you know, sorry about the location thing. You know how it is with kids, child. I try to make it work, but she made me almost feel like I had a heart attack on the way out. But we'll be fine. Yeah. All right, so we'll see y'all.
Good night.
Night, everyone.